Mel Gibson is Hollywood's great contradiction. A man worshipped as a hero, then condemned as a villain, only to rise again when everyone swore he was finished. His life has been a cycle of brilliance and disaster, a story of how fame magnifies not only your talent, but your demons. Born in 1956 in New York, Gibson's early years were marked by chaos. His father, a strict Catholic and outspoken man, moved the family to Australia to escape what he saw as America's moral decline. Mel grew up in a household where faith, discipline, and temper ruled everything. That mixture of intensity and rebellion would follow him for life. He never planned to act. Acting happened by accident when one of his sisters sent in his application to the National Institute of Dramatic Art in Sydney. He was raw, charismatic, unpredictable, everything the camera loved. In the late 1970s, he landed a small role in a low-budget Australian film called Mad Max. No one expected it to go anywhere, but it exploded. Mad Max became a cult phenomenon, and by the time The Road Warrior came out, Gibson was an international star. He followed it with Gallipoli, The Year of Living Dangerously, and Lethal Weapon. The combination of wild intensity and natural charm made him a box office king. He wasn't just an action star, he was a symbol of masculine defiance, the man who laughed in the face of danger. By the 1990s, Mel Gibson wasn't just famous, he was untouchable. Braveheart made him a legend. He directed, produced, and starred in it, winning 2 Oscars including Best Director. Hollywood crowned him one of its own, the rare actor who could do it all. But behind the applause, his private life was unraveling. He struggled with alcoholism, rage, and paranoia. He carried a deep religious guilt that clashed with the temptations of fame. As his success grew, so did the cracks in his image. And then, one night in 2006, everything collapsed. Gibson was pulled over for drunk driving in Malibu. The police report became front-page news not because of the arrest, but because of what he said. His drunken anti-Semitic rant turned him from one of Hollywood's biggest stars into its most hated man overnight. The industry that had celebrated him now wanted nothing to do with him. Studios dropped projects, agencies cut ties, and his name became toxic. He apologized publicly, but the damage was done. The same media that once praised his talent now feasted on his downfall. It wasn't his first controversy. His deeply religious film, The Passion of the Christ, had already split audiences between admiration and outrage. But this was different. This was personal. For years, Gibson disappeared from Hollywood. He focused on his family, battled his addictions, and faced therapy. But redemption doesn't come easy for those the world has already judged. Every small step forward came with a reminder of what he'd done. Every attempt at rebuilding was met with skepticism and anger. Still, Gibson didn't give up. Slowly, quietly, he began to work again, first behind the camera, then in smaller roles. He directed Hacksaw Ridge in 2016, a World War II epic about a man who saved lives without firing a gun. It was raw, emotional, and deeply human. The film earned 6 Oscar nominations, including Best Director for Gibson himself. The same industry that had exiled him was forced to applaud him again. It wasn't a full redemption, it never really could be, but it was proof that art can outlive scandal. That talent, when honest, has a way of clawing back to the surface. Mel Gibson didn't pretend to be perfect. He admitted his mistakes, called himself a broken man, and let his work speak louder than his apologies. To some, he'll always be the villain. To others, a man who fought his way back from the edge. Maybe the truth lies somewhere in between, because Gibson's story isn't just about Hollywood, it's about human contradiction. A man capable of both brilliance and cruelty, faith and failure, creation and destruction. What makes his story powerful isn't that he fell, it's that he refused to stay down. In an age when one mistake can erase a lifetime, Gibson became proof that people are messier than headlines. That forgiveness, however rare, is still possible. Even today, his name carries weight not just for the films he made, but for the lessons they represent. Braveheart taught the world about courage, The Passion about conviction, and Hacksaw Ridge about redemption. Whether you admire him or despise him, you can't ignore him. Mel Gibson remains one of Hollywood's most complicated figures, a genius undone by his own flaws, and a survivor who refused to vanish. The same fire that nearly destroyed him also fueled his return. And maybe that's what makes him unforgettable. The raw, uncomfortable truth that greatness and darkness often share the same heart. And what do you think about him? Please like and subscribe to join our community. Thanks.